Have you ever had a night where just turning slightly in bed sends a sharp reminder through your knee, as if age itself were tapping you on the shoulder? Or perhaps one morning, as you reach for the edge of the bed to stand up, your fingers, once so nimble throughout your life, suddenly feel like they no longer belong to you. If you've ever experienced a moment like that, I'd like to invite you to stay with me for a few minutes today. Because sometimes, in the midst of what seems like the complexity of modern medicine, the answers to our pain are quietly hidden in the simplest things we walk past every day. I believe that being 50, 60, or even 70, it is not the end of comfort. It is simply a new chapter, a time when the body speaks a little louder, and we learn slowly, patiently to listen with understanding and so. And the longer I work with older patients, the more I realize, nighttime joint pain isn't just pain. It's worry, it's restlessness. It's that lonely feeling of being awake while everyone else has already drifted into sleep. But the beautiful thing is, nature always finds a way to whisper gentle remedies to those who know how to look. In every kitchen, there are familiar vegetables that seem ordinary, yet inside them lies a quiet treasury of anti-inflammatory compounds, minerals, and healing energy. When used at the right moment, they can become a warm blanket for your tired joints each night. Tonight, I want to tell you about foods that science now supports, yet our ancestors trusted long before laboratories existed. These foods are simple, affordable, and humble, but they carry the remarkable ability to ease stubborn joint pain, especially the kind that mysteriously grows stronger after dark. You see, when we sleep, the body enters its silent phase of repair. Tiny injuries in the cartilage, the soft tissues, the ligaments, all wait for a peaceful night's rest to heal themselves. But when pain wakes us in the middle of the night, the cycle of inflammation, pain, poor sleep continues, over and over. What I want you to understand through this message is simple. With the right evening meal, or a few gentle rituals before bed, the body can recover far more effectively than you might imagine. And along that journey, 3 familiar vegetables paired with one small nighttime technique and an often forgotten natural nutrient can become loyal companions. They are not miracles, but they are steady, gentle, and very real. So today, I invite you to slow down a little, sit somewhere quiet, and let me share with you the story of the evening foods that can help awaken flexibility in your joints. The flexibility time may seem to have taken away, but which, in truth, we can still reclaim, one night at a time. When I was younger, I used to think health was only about medicine, hospitals, and numbers printed on test results. But the older I get and the more I reflect on the patients who have walked beside me for decades, the more I understand that the human body is a garden, not a machine. And like every garden, it needs gentle, consistent care. Not always grand gestures. Sometimes just the right nourishment, the right timing, and the patience to let things heal in their natural rhythm. So when we talk about nighttime joint pain, I don't begin with medications or complicated treatments. I begin with the sweet potato, a vegetable that may look plain at first glance, yet holds exactly what many of us at this age desperately need. 1. Sweet potatoes. The warm, orange gift of the evening. Sweet potatoes are often seen as so simple they're barely worth mentioning. But for someone who has ever woken at 2 in the morning with a burning knee, or someone who massages their hands each night before bed, sweet potatoes, when eaten at the right time, can become a quiet, dependable friend. We all know that aging increases oxidative stress in the body, and those tiny oxidants silently wear away at our joints. Sweet potatoes, with their warm orange color, contain beta-carotene and vitamin C2, steadfast guardians that help sweep away inflammatory molecules building up inside the joints. Eating them in the evening gives the body enough time to convert these nutrients into healing energy, easing the tension in surrounding tissues. One thing many people over 50 forget is this: muscles contribute significantly to joint pain. When the muscles around your knees or hands tighten, the pressure on your joints multiplies. And sweet potatoes, rich in natural magnesium, help those muscles learn how to relax. Sometimes before you even lie down, I always encourage people to eat sweet potatoes in the evening, about 1 to 2 hours before bedtime. A small one is enough. Don't fry it, don't add sugar. Let the natural sweetness guide your body into a calmer state. Sprinkle a little cinnamon, add a drizzle of olive oil, and allow it to become a nightly ritual, your quiet reminder to the body that it's time to rest. And here's something fascinating. When blood sugar stays steady through the night thanks to slow digesting carbohydrates, inflammation decreases. The body functions more smoothly when it isn't battling sudden spikes and drops in blood sugar. Once again, the sweet potato does this gently, without drawing attention to itself. 2. Spinach, the green leaf that preserves the softness of your joints. Sweet potatoes are the warm note of the evening meal. Then spinach is the cool, gentle breath your joints long for. The secret of this vegetable doesn't lie in anything fancy. It lies in that deep green color, as if it holds the essence of the earth itself. Many people only know spinach from salads, but inside each leaf is a treasure that aging bodies truly need. Spinach is rich in vitamin K, a nutrient that helps keep calcium exactly where it belongs. When vitamin K is lacking, calcium rather than staying within the bones tends to wander, settling around the joints and tendons, causing the stiffness many people believe is inevitable with age. But the truth is, the body isn't as stubborn as we think. It simply needs the right nutrient to guide things back into balance. Along with vitamin K come the carotenoids, lutein, and zeaxanthine, natural anti-inflammatory compounds working quietly every day. Older patients often ask me, can I ever feel flexible like I used to? I usually smile and say, maybe not like when you were 40, but certainly better than today if you give your body the right ingredients. Spinach is one of those ingredients. What I especially love about spagna is the way it helps the body flush out excess sodium, the hidden culprit behind swelling and joint puffiness that many people overlook. Thanks to its magnesium and potassium content, spinach helps free the tissues around the joints, reducing heaviness and discomfort. Anyone who has ever woken up with swollen hands knows how precious that relief can be. You don't need to eat much. 1 to 1.5 cups of lightly cooked spinach in your evening meal is enough. Saute it gently in a bit of olive oil. Don't overcook it. Once the leaves just begin to wilt, the nutrients are still intact. And if you prefer, you can blend it into a soft evening smoothie with flaxseed or banana. Quiet drink, nourishing your body in the most persistent way. Through the years of practicing medicine, I've come to believe that every food has its own personality. Sweet potatoes are warm and patient. Spinach is soft and subtle, like a calming breath. And then there are foods with stronger, bolder spirits, like an old friend who has survived many storms yet remains understanding and deeply grounding. To me, ginger is exactly that. Friend. 3. Ginger, a small warmth that can soothe an entire night. It's no coincidence that in many traditional healing practices, ginger is seen as a small flame that restores the body. We live in a world filled with stress, and as we age, the body becomes more sensitive to unspoken, lingering emotions. They settle in the joints, making them colder, stiffer, more painful at night. A slice of ginger steeped in hot water can become a gentle but powerful evening ritual. Compounds like gingerol and chaga work like quiet craftsmen, reducing inflammation at the cellular level, similar to familiar pain relievers, but without overwhelming the body. What I love most about ginger isn't only its biological effect, but the way its warmth passes through your palms when you hold your cup, bringing a very human sense of comfort. Drinking ginger tea about 45 to 60 minutes before bedtime is like clearing a path for a smoother night's rest. The heart slows, the breath deepens, and the muscles around the joints begin to loosen. I've had many patients who couldn't remember the last time they slept through the night, but once they began ending their evenings with a warm cup of ginger tea, the body slowly relearned how to settle. Of course, like everything in life, ginger requires moderation. A small amount soothes. Too much may irritate the stomach or interfere with medications. That's why a 1-inch piece of ginger is all you need. Just that, but sometimes the smallest things are exactly what we've been searching for all along. 4. Plant-based omega-3, the silky oil your joints have been thirsting for. There are things we cannot see with the naked eye, yet the body senses them clearly. One of those things is omega-3 deficiency, the natural oil that keeps joints lubricated and flexible. Many people think omega-3 comes only from fish, but nature has long prepared wonderful plant sources: flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts. When we are young, we tend to eat according to our cravings, but past 50, the body asks for more. It asks to be cared for. Plant-based omega-3 acts like a delicate repairman, calming down the silent inflammation we often don't realize is happening. Not all pain comes from injury. Most comes from accumulation: years of steps taken, stress carried, nights of incomplete rest. What I appreciate most about plant-based omega-3 is its gentleness. You don't need to overhaul your diet. Just a spoon of ground flaxseed sprinkled over your evening spinach, or a few walnuts after dinner. Nothing complicated, nothing restrictive, yet deeply nourishing to the joint tissues. Many of my patients tell me they don't notice a difference right away, but after a few weeks their mornings feel easier, less stiff, lighter. That's not coincidence. Nature moves at its own pace, sometimes slower than we hope, but always steady. Someone once asked me, why does the body become more sensitive to inflammation as we age? I answered, because we've walked a long road, and omega-3 is one of the gifts that helps us continue more gently, without having to push through so much discomfort. 5. The warm cold water ritual. A moment when the body learns to breathe again, and then there are evenings when food alone simply isn't enough. Evenings when your hands swell, your knees feel as if they're carrying the weight of the entire day, and all you want is a bit of relief. That works right away. That's when the warm cold water therapy becomes one of the most effective rituals I've ever taught. It isn't a complicated medical technique. Just 2 simple bowls, one filled with warm water, the other with cold. Yet it's this very simplicity that makes it so remarkable. When you place your hands or feet into the warm water, your blood vessels open like gentle doors, allowing nutrients to flow into the joint tissues. Then, when you switch to cold water, the vessels constrict, carrying inflammatory substances away, as if the body were being lightly wrung out. After a few cycles, People often feel their joints grow lighter, not completely healed, but noticeably eased. A lightness you can actually sense when you move, when you open your hands. When you rise from a chair, I often refer to this method as a way for the body to relearn its own rhythm of breathing. Because in that alternating warm and cold, the blood is reminded that it can still move freely, the tissues are reminded that they can still recover, and the mind is reminded that there are things we can do, simple things, to improve our daily lives. The most important part is timing. Perform this ritual about 30 to 45 minutes before bed. Close enough to bring relaxation, yet far enough to let your body return to its natural temperature before sleep. And afterward, drink a small sip of water. Your body will thank you for it. The three practices, ginger, plant-based omega-3, and the warm cold water ritual, are not instant miracles, but together, they work like three quiet companions, helping you make it through long, restless nights, guiding your joints back toward a softness you may have believed time had taken away. As we cross the halfway point of life, evenings become more meaningful than ever, not just because sleep grows shorter, but because nighttime is one of the few moments when the body can quietly heal what the day has worn down. Nighttime joint pain isn't merely physical pain, it's the body's gentle plea for a bit more care, a bit more patience, a bit more tenderness. And as you can see, what helps us isn't anything grand. It comes from warm orange sweet potatoes, deep green spinach leaves, a soothing cup of ginger tea, a spoonful of flaxseed or a few walnuts, and a simple bowl of warm and cold water sitting in the corner of an old kitchen. These modest things come together to form an evening ritual, ordinary, yes, but filled with the kind of kindness the body has been waiting for. I have always believed this. Aging doesn't take away our ability to live comfortably. It simply asks us to live more mindfully, to understand the body more deeply, to appreciate every small sensation. And when we begin treating the body like an old friend, neither forcing nor ignoring it, simply listening, our body responds with quiet, steady improvements. A less stiff morning, a deeper night's sleep, a lighter step as we rise from bed. If you've ever felt limited by nighttime pain, I hope this message feels like the soft ringing of a bell, opening a new doorway, reminding you that there are still gentle, natural ways to walk side by side with your body. Begin tonight. One sweet potato, a small plate of spinach, a warm cup of ginger tea, a warm cold water ritual. Simple things, yet capable of transforming the way you enter sleep. And when you sleep better, everything else, your spirit, your emotions, the movement of your joints, has a chance to become better. 2. Thank you for staying with me until the end. I wish you a peaceful night and lighter, easier mornings ahead. If this journey speaks to you, I would be honored to accompany you again in the next video. Take care of your body, the way you would tend to a garden you truly love.